I've really been into my English brogue boots lately, and this is a recent addition to my collection bought during a sale. This is Herring Shoes Corsham boot. How you going? Welcome back to my channel Bootlosophy, and my name is Tech. I'm recording on Wajak Nunga Buja. This is a pair of English country brogue boots from Herring Shoes based in Devon on the south coast of England. I'll leave a link to their website. It's not an affiliate website down below. It's an exceptionally light Goodyear welted boot for the design and construction, but the lightweight is primarily because of the light rubber outsole from an Italian company, no, not Vibram, Wearlight. It normally sells for 750 Australian dollars, including shipping, but I got it for less than 400 in a sale, including shipping, so great buy, especially as it's made for Herring by a Northampton brand. The design is a traditional English country brogue boot. Let's break that down. In England, there was a break in categories between country and town shoes, especially up until the 1970s. The distinction has greyed out with modern menswear trends. Town boots tended to be slim, almond-toed, derby or Oxford lacing boots that you polish up and wear to your office. Country boots were for spending weekends in the country, walking wet grass fields or going shooting or hunting. Country boots tended to be sturdier in the leathers and had wider toe shapes and last shapes with rounder toes for comfortable walking, and many were derby brogues. Broguing refers to these holes that's punched through the upper's pattern pieces. Originally, way back in the 18th century, farmers in Ireland and Scotland wore brogues to allow water to drain back out as they walked through peat marshes and bogs. And yes, they would have wet socks, but at least not end up with a boot full of water. Since then, they have gradually evolved into everyday designs, and even in the 1980s, or at least by the 1980s, becoming acceptable city wear to go to the office in. Nowadays, of course, the holes no longer go all the way through, and they remain only as a fashionable legacy of the past. This Corsham model is a little over 5 inches in the shaft, all eyelet open derby lacing, and built on a lightweight commando lug sole. The upper's leather, it's in a color called Cedar, is a full-grain, pebble-grain calf tanned in an European tannery that's not named. The pebble, or sometimes called Scotch grain, is traditionally sturdier because it doesn't mark as easily as smooth grain calf. I'm actually quite comfortable wearing these with a suit. Nothing too dark and formal, but a light grey would go well with this cedar colour. The thicker sole may look a little off, but I think I can live with it because you can't see the lugs from the side and the edge itself is dark. You can also wear it with other business or smart casual outfits like, say, in chinos and a button-down shirt and a light jacket like a Harrington. Stay with earth colours and it all goes. It's country casual enough to also go with denim and a light crew neck and a hoodie. This hoodie is Flint & Tinder's 10-year hoodie, and the faded navy is perfect to match the denim and the tan colour. And if you like those outfit matches, don't forget to click on like down below. Now let's turn to the brand, especially as many of you probably won't have heard of it before. I was turned on to them by the UK YouTube reviewer, the Devon reviewer. He lives in Devon where Herring is based. Herring started in 1966 to retail footwear in southern England, especially those made by English manufacturers from Northampton. They started selling and built up generational relationships with the likes of Barker, Churches, Cheney and Loke. When the founder's son, Adrian, took over, he'd already worked in the Loke factory and they decided to market their own branded boots. But they were made for them by well-known Northampton factories. Their styles are still made by Barker, Cheney and Loke, Trickers and Alfred Sargent. But today, some of their styles are also made in a contracted Portuguese factory. So let's take a look at the construction. These are made on the 029 last. That's the foot-shaped mold that the leather is wrapped or lasted around and which dictates what the finished boot will look like. The 029 last is a last that's owned by Barker, so we can deduce that this was made for Herring by Barker in Northampton. The upper's leather comes from an unnamed European tannery, which I would guess, pure guess, is either in Portugal or Spain because of the large number of good but not great tanneries there. Now, I'm not being judgmental. It's just that Spanish and Portuguese tanneries produce really good leather, but not to the likes of other European tanneries like Dupuy or Danone in France. As a result, this is a good, sturdy calf full grain, and it feels sturdy, but misses the softer feel of other calf that can be produced. It is full grain, but it has been embossed with the pebble structure to provide better resistance against scuffing when you're walking in the country. The boot is fully lined with a softer calf leather, and the total thickness of leather is about 2 and a bit mils, so not thick, but still firm and sturdy. The wing pattern is brogued, and some of the edges are pinked. Some of the brogue holes are quite big, more like my Grenson Freds and less like the Tricker's Stowe. The hardware are 6 large eyelets with no speed hooks. The tongue is not gusseted, but the leather seems firm enough not to allow the tongue to slide over in use. Inside the boot, there is a leather insole and a leather lightly padded sock liner placed under the heel for additional shock absorption. The boot is constructed using the Goodyear welting method. The insole on the inside is stitched to the uppers and the welt, and then on the outside edge of the welt, it's stitched to a rubber full slip midsole. Then the lightweight Commander lug sole with low lugs is glued on. The boot is resolable, as you can strip this rubber outsole off, and if you wear past that, your cobbler should also be able to replace the midsole and, if necessary, replace the welt. At 700 odd Aussie dollars full price, it's an economically priced boot when you compare it with what is sold by Northampton brands. And this welt is where some of the cost is saved. The welt is rubber or plastic. It's a molded stone welt, and it feels sturdy enough, unless you go, I guess, mountain climbing up El Capitan, should last long enough. Work boots like the Thorogood Mock Toe use plastic welts, so they don't break necessarily after a few wears. The welt is thick enough at 3 mils, and there is a foam filler inside and a shank inside this cavity caused by that welt, and the rubber slip sole is about 3 mils as well as a midsole. They use the rubber midsole because while they can stitch through it, the rubber is then a better surface for adhesives to glue the rubber outsole onto. Stitching through this lightweight outsole might, I imagine, cause it to tear easier, like, a perforated stamp. The outsole is very soft rubber compound, almost like blown rubber, made by an Italian company that I've never heard of called Wearlite. It has the feel of a Vibram gum-like sole. It's certainly very lightweight, but durability is going to be the test in the long run. One boot weighs about 1 kilogram only. As a pebbled calf, Leathercare is pretty simple. Brush it often to remove dirt and grit. If dry and muddy, wipe them with a damp cloth, and if necessary, I'm sure you can saddle soak this. In terms of conditioning, I would use my go-to for smoother leathers, good old Venetian shoe cream in neutral. If you want to shine it up, you can use a boot cream and then a light coating of wax polish. I recommend using neutral in both, unless you have an exact enough color match. You do want to be a little careful in colored creams and waxes because these have a light burnishing applied around the toes and the heels, and you don't want to color them away. Being a UK brand, they use the UK sizing convention, which is 1 number down from the US. And like most UK brands, they are sized true to size. None of this nonsensical take a half size down bizzo that nobody understands why. So on the US Brannock device, I'm an 8.5 in average D width. For many, if not most American boot brands, I take an 8D, half down. But in these, I take my true UK size at 7.5, 1 number down, same as my Canadian Viberg size. Do not, for goodness sake, compare them to your sneaker size. Go get measured properly. As for width, UK width measurements are almost manufacturer by manufacturer. Trickers use width fitting 5 for average width. In this case, average width, it's called an F width. Go figure. In terms of comfort, I haven't really broken these in yet, being stuck in my own private hell of an experiment in my 12 boots in 12 weeks series, and I've only worn them once so far. I cheated. But the fit is really good and the shock absorption is great. Standing and in the office all day, they're great under the feet with no hot spots in the uppers. I think once broken in, they're going to be super comfortable. And even now, my one complaint is the stiff leather around the collar digging into my ankles. That should go away once they break in. As I said, I got these on sale And looking at their website, they don't seem to list these anymore. But there are a lot of their branded Brogue boots still available. I think you might have to be careful in that some of the cheaper ones are probably manufactured in Portugal, if that matters to you. The price range is from the 400 Aussie mark all the way up to $1,000. Of course, they sell the Northampton brands as well, but even those actually look quite good value in Australia because the prices quoted include delivery and all charges. If I get a pair of the Tricker's Acorn Stow boot, I might get them from Herring. If you could get this pair at the original selling price of 750 Aussie or 325 pounds or 474 US, jump on them. At those prices, they are great value and I have no affiliate or other links with them at all. You can't say that so quickly about most boots that are not on sale. And that's the story, my friend. I hope you like the review. You know what to do. Click on like. And if you're meandering here because you stumbled on this channel, click on subscribe too. Plenty of reviews already on the channel and more coming every week. Until the next time, take care. See ya.